question everything, never become complacent. If you stuck your nose around this channel for any amount of time, you know that is how we do it. So,
gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up and let me hear the party say, I'm kinda buzzed and it's all because this is how we do it.
This is how we do it. It's Wednesday night and I feel it's time. Not for Montel Jordan, but for Chico Crypto. Well, we have to talk about this, as the news won't be known till tomorrow, but Ethereum's golden star of a scaling solution is having a delay. Who are we talking about? Optimism PBC with their optimistic rollup. It was told to be a general smart contract rollup that could provide DApp scaling when Ethereum needed it the most. Much hype, much wow with this one, but even 3 months ago, I knew something wasn't right and this delay could be coming. I posted this video, a little shock value with Ethereum to 0, but it showed some of the weird connections with this scaling solution. And even back then, they weren't following their initial roadmap. Well, things seem to be getting weirder with how this project is going to deploy their rollup scaling solution. Head of the project, Jinglan Wang, spoke in the Discord and gave some details. Let's see what she had to say about the future plans for the rollup. She began with, "We've drafted an update post, and it's going through revisions amongst team members. It will be published on our blog on Thursday. I'll post it here before releasing to the public." Good news, right? Thursday, an update is coming for Optimism. Well, she continued. "I definitely think it's good news. In the short term, it may be annoying for those who get frustrated by changing plans, and understandably so. However, we feel that listening to and implementing feedback from the ecosystem is the right move. The very high-level update is that our integration partners have been campaigning for a testnet phase prior to mainnet. The initial announcement took people by surprise, and many don't feel ready. We made that first announcement only thinking about what features we needed to build and not enough about the work required to make it a successful launch for the whole community. Since L2 will need to serve the needs of many people, we decided to take a step back to make sure that when we launch, we are doing it together with the ecosystem." A lot of words, and if you couldn't catch that, Jinglan just dropped that there will be no optimistic mainnet coming this month like they said. Maybe a testnet. Why is this a kick in the ether balls? Ah! Well, like she said, the Optimistic team put out a blog post 1 month ago titled "Dope Hires and More Mainnet in March." They spoke of new investments, allowing a great batch of new hires, which meant the arbitrary mainnet would be coming in March instead of a public testnet. So it literally took the Optimistic team 1 month to figure this out and let the public know that, hey, mainnet isn't ready, which Jinglan confirms in Discord of why they aren't going on the mainnet. She continued on the reason for this testnet. "We especially want things like token bridges, infrastructure providers, block explorers, multisigs, wallets, etc. to be ready for launch so that people can use L2 as safely as possible." She gives an example problem with DAI and then says, "Many projects use things like Gnosis multisig on L1 to manage upgrade keys, community funds, etc. In order for a project to upgrade safely, we need to integrate a multisig prior to launch. Other things in this category include oracles, indexers, etc." So basically nothing was ready, not even a block explorer. All Chico Crypto has to say is yikes. But all this means is good news for the other Ethereum scaling solutions that are live on the mainnet and have those things: token bridges, oracles, multisig, wallets, and more. And for the rest of this episode, let's just see who is furthest along with scaling. So having a block explorer is a good thing. You can see the number of transactions and the transactions going through the scaling solution or chain. Going to a team whose explorer is being used throughout the entire ecosystem, xDai, we can see they are having transactions on their layer 2, which have peaked near 300k in the past month to a low of about 120k. xDai's layer 2 is being utilized on the mainnet, obviously. And why is this? Well, what Jinglan said. The infrastructure that they are missing is there for xDai. For example, oracles. xDai already has those things. Chainlink price feeds are live on the xDai mainnet, with developer documentation for deployment within xDai documentation and Chainlink documentation. So, Chainlink's oracles are ready to go on xDai. Why is this weird in relation to Optimism? Well, in September, Optimism put out their light at the end of the tunnel blog post, which got the hype started for their rollup. In it, they put out their initial roadmap for launch, which can have a big old X through that, as it hasn't been followed one bit. But at the bottom, they said this. In parallel, we will be preparing some of our other early adopters for testnet integrations so that they are ready to deploy once a full testnet is running. And those partners? Synthetics, Uniswap, and Chainlink. And then one day after they dropped this blog, my birthday, September 25th, Chainlink said this on Twitter. Congratulations to Synthetics on being the first Ethereum DApp to integrate on the recently launched Optimism PBC's L2 chain. As a blockchain agnostic Oracle network, we look forward to continuing our support by providing secure and reliable price feeds. So you're telling me for 6 months, since the end of September, Chainlink hasn't deployed anything. What the freak is freaking going on? They were posted as an integration partner. You would think their price feeds would be ready before xDai or Polygon Matic, but according to Jinglan in Discord, oracles are not ready. But that isn't only good news for xDai. Remember, there are many scaling solutions hitting their strides. Another one is Polygon, formerly Matic. Going to their block explorer, transactions are surging this month. Recently over 300k 24 hours. But doesn't that block explorer look familiar? Well, because it's a fork of xDai's. Remember how I said xDai's block explorer was being used throughout the ecosystem? But also, like xDai, they have Chainlink oracles live on their mainnet with in-house developer documentation. Does Chainlink reciprocate the deployment like they do with xDai? Well, going back to the Chainlink documentation, we can see to the left there is Polygon price feeds. Clicking into it, a similar amount to xDai. But to the left, there is also Binance Smart Chain and even Huobi Eco Chain, but no Optimism PBC. So my friends, what I'm trying to say is xDai and Polygon, they are the two live scaling solutions many projects are choosing as it's the only way to go live. And let me tell you, it's not about fighting between these two, it's about the connections. Remember that project Connects? Well, it was that channeling project connecting layer 2s, and one of their first connections besides Ethereum layer 1, xDai and Polygon. It was one of the first bridge connections deployed, and Arjun, founder of Connects, tweeted this end of last week. In the last week, Matic xDai bridge alone routed 80k plus 48k DAI xDai in each direction, total 128k. This was done using 40k in liquidity going back and forth across the router, but channels aren't capital efficient. Yeah, baby, for these two, it's probably the best news they can get. Polygon and xDai will be interoperable with each other and layer 1 Ethereum before any of the other scaling solutions can, like Optimism or even the other rollups out there. Not a single one is in Chainlink documentation, which means xDai and Polygon will be able to do things like this very soon. Connects tweeted it just 2 days ago. Not enough people know this yet. You can use Connects today to call contracts on Chain B using funds from Chain A and paying gas only on Chain A. Cross-chain Meta transactions? Tell your friends it's gonna be a thing. A thing on xDai and Polygon before Optimism. Cheers. I'll see you next time.